Good Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you didn't already know, my name is Charlie, and we got a lot to go over today. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day, and this is in the morning, so I hope you have a great rest of your day as well. I'll get a video out later, so tune into that, but we've got a lot to go over in the video I'm doing right now. A lot of model guidance to cover, a lot of different graphics to show you, so we're going to get right into it here. Like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you have not already, and please comment down below where you're watching from, what you would like to see, any details like that, anything you'd like to tell me, please drop that in the comments below, and let's get right into it here. So number one, I was watching Mitch West's video last night, and he mentioned this site, Polar Weather by Tomer Berger, if that's how you say his name. But he used some of the graphics from there, and I was blown away. I've been looking for a site like this for a very long time. So if you're watching this, Mitch, or someone shares it with you, I highly appreciate the mention of the site. It's going to be a big help. But we're going to start off, as usual, looking at the Euro. Let me know in the comments if you like this site or not. We'll go into it, and you can tell me then. So this is starting off. You can already see it going. Let's back up and see when it initializes here. So early Friday morning, 10 a.m., we start to get some snow. Freezing rain shows up in pink here. We get some rain and snow mixing along the Texas-Oklahoma border all the way through Arkansas. Louisiana getting some heavy freezing rain from this, and then northern Mississippi getting freezing rain from this, all the way back towards the southern Rockies in New Mexico. So keep that in mind. It's snowing all the way up into Kansas. And this is not a forecast. Let's see here. This is getting into Saturday morning here. Just a massive winter storm unfolding here. So much freezing rain over so many areas. It's Roswell, New Mexico, all the way east into near Atlanta. I mean, it's such a huge corridor here. Most of the southern half of Louisiana, southern half of Arkansas, middle central areas of I can't think, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, central areas of Alabama, lots of areas of Texas, Dallas, Crockett, Kylie, Abilene. Just I could name these places until I'm blue in the face. I've said that before. And we'll move sectors here, but just continues freezing rain for just hours on end in a lot of these areas in the southern tier of the country, as well as snow. I mean, the ice is the dangerous part here, but look at how much snow there is. There's a lot of snow on the north side of this that will drop a lot of accumulating snow in a lot of these regions. But let's put it right here, and we will use the little selector here and go to the southeast sector. So what does it show over here for the southeast? Really moves in here Saturday morning, 10 a.m., just after lunchtime, gets going here. The entire state of South Carolina gets absolutely overtaken by freezing rain. Let's see, Georgia here, all freezing rain pretty much, and all the areas that get precipitation. A lot of Alabama gets it. Then we have a warm nose in Mississippi, so it might just be rain. You better hope it's rain in Mississippi. This freezing rain is not looking good, guys. We'll go over that. We have, let's see, so many hours of freezing rain here in the Carolinas. So many hours. And the same for Louisiana, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, same thing. And snow to the north moves on out. And what about, let's see if we have a mid-Atlantic sector here. Well, not really, but we do have this. So let's just look at this real quick. So this is it here. You can see North Carolina right at the bottom of your screen here. We'll get everything in frame. Right at the bottom of your screen, you can see the rest of the Northeast. Lots of snow up through the Ohio Valley, interior Northeast, as well as a lot of New England here. And then it turns into a very compact offshore low here, kind of like a nor'easter, drops measurable snow across lots of areas of the Northeast. So let's see here. Yeah, that's the latest from the operational euro. So we're just gonna take it back, not to North America. That's a little bit big of a sector. Let's do just the U.S. as a whole. So here's a whole broad look at it, right? From start to finish. Not really gonna speak on the areas much during this, just so you can see it rolls through, and then it's gone. So how much snow would we get based off of this? Well, let's check. Our snow total is very impressive, and it continues to do so. Let me get rid of this so it's just a little bit bigger here. Don't worry about the time, just look at some of these areas. On this site, here's our color key down here. Where it turns to purple is 6 inches or more of snow. Where it turns to pink is over a foot of snow. So we have trended this south, not north, guys. I said it in the videos that we made covering the last system, that these like to trend to the northwest. That's still true. And this one's trending the other way, south and even east. Mainly just south, though. That's our area of measurable snow here. And then we have multiple corridors here. For example, Oklahoma and Arkansas with over a foot of snow, as well as this in the secondary circle I just drew here in North Carolina and the Virginias. Some of this is mountainous areas. You would expect that kind of, not all of it though. And like the Piedmont of North Carolina and Virginia, there are areas in here that aren't as highly elevated, and they're still getting lots of snow. 14, 16 inches of snow. This is not a forecast. Keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. This is not a forecast. And if you see your city on this map, say you live in Memphis, don't think, oh, I'm good for 6 to 8 inches of snow. That's not what this means. But this has been so consistent. This is the Euro. It's reliable, but it's not gone anywhere. There's not been a single run so far since it started showing this that it didn't show it. So that's for what that's worth. We can zoom into these graphics and show you the little cities later. Just the overall footprint. It has ticked south. Areas like the upstate of South Carolina where I live gets more snow off this, and it pushes that freezing rain line just a little bit further south. We still get a lot of freezing rain, don't get me wrong. So yeah, that's the latest Euro. Then we look at the Euro AI. What does it have to show here? So on this, let's see, our color key down here, sleet and ice shows up in this purple, as you'd kind of expect, and then this brown, almost orange color is a rain snow mix. Just focus on blue, the other two colors that you see, and then green. Don't worry about looking at a total of 4 colors. Let's see here. Starts the event off late Friday into Saturday in the early morning hours. Lots of rain, lots of mix, lots of snow. It's still centered over the southern plains. If you hear a rumbling noise, that's just my garage closing. But we have lots of snow here across a lot of just the central plains, southern plains. Areas of Texas get it. Oklahoma gets a lot of it. Southern Kansas, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, all the way over to, let's say, Albuquerque, New Mexico, getting hours of snow. You guys get like nearly 24 hours straight of snow. Not a forecast. Euro AI, not a forecast. And then we move this off to the east, kind of begins to amplify. You can see in this purple just the amount of mix, the amount of like slushy mess that's going to be falling from the sky. This is going to be a highly impactful event, guys. I really think so. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to let us pick. If we select this, we might have to select different product. Let's do that. Well, it does not appear that it's going to let us, so apologize for that. We're going to have to kind of do something here on the fly. We will take the US, then we can go here. One thing about these AI models is their actual output does not offer precipitation types. That's what sites like this are good for, especially good for, is showing you. They estimate using other algorithms. That would be why we can't zoom in further. There we go. just take this broader look, and a lot of freezing rain moves in to all of South Carolina again, northern Georgia. There's that warm nose in Alabama, but it's more in Alabama, not Mississippi. Heavy snow off to the north. All of, say, Kentucky gets heavy snow. Tennessee starts to snow, and you get to a mix. Northern North Carolina, all of Virginia. Virginia stays along the line. Areas of like the Tidewater in Virginia and Maryland and all those areas, Chesapeake Bay, you start off as heavy snow, then mix for hours. That's not great. Then we move this and it moves on out. There's other things I mean, there's a low up there in the Northeast, 10 days out. So who knows? But there's our main event here. So since we can't zoom in anymore, we might as well just go ahead and look at the total snow. And so same color key here based off the Euro Ensemble. There's our footprint right there of the most measurable snow. Over 6 inches being modeled multiple locations. It's a little bit toned down from the Euro, right? You don't see as much of this pink. Some areas of it, but like this right here is just higher elevations. This is not necessarily. I don't know. I think the Ozarks are in this area in general. I may be completely wrong about that. I just can't remember. But still, lots of snow. And the footprint of snow is in a very similar place, but the Euro AI has not ticked south like the operational Euro did yet. Doesn't mean it's going to, it's just it hasn't yet. What do we have for GFS? Here's the GFS model. As of this morning, this is the latest. This is the 6Z. Yeah, okay, we do have the 6Z. So it continues to be more suppressed with its cold air. However, it is folded like an omelet to the Euro in some ways, so we'll look at that. Let's see. Rain-snow mix along like northern central Texas. That's where the line is generally. Wichita Falls, for example. I don't know if you say that you pronounce it Idabel in Oklahoma. That's what that is. But that's right on the line. Finally switches to some snow afterwards, but just this this mix. Now, however, the GFS has continued to do this. On this site here, you have pink in the southern areas, and that is freezing rain, and then you have sleet in purple. It's hard to forecast sleet, and the GFS seems to always be overdoing it on these runs, so who knows? Just consider it wintry mix, right? Move this off here, and it's a different look. It is. There's just a little bit less moisture overall. It's not quite as amped up of a look, and so yeah, let's just take it back here, and we'll move it off to the east. So there's our southeast sector here. So this is getting into Saturday afternoon, Sunday. Lot of wintry mix across the Carolinas here, but there's a lot more snow in North Carolina than there is mix. Mixing, the entire state of South Carolina is mixing again. Some rain on the back, or snow on the backside, possibly getting into late afternoon Sunday. So we really start this at like Friday afternoon, and we really don't end it until Saturday afternoon. That's nearly 24 hours of wintry mix in like South Carolina, for example, and nearby areas of North Carolina as well as Georgia will do similar things. So I do apologize if I don't mention timestamps. I try to keep these in frame up here. This is in Zulu time. That's why it says, I don't know if it says Z, but it is. And it's hard to think about because it uses military time logic in a sense, but it's not military time. It's you subtract 5 hours from this. So when it says 0Z, it's really 7 p.m. You subtract 5 hours. That would be midnight. It's midnight at the prime meridian. That's model sites do this. The Weather World uses this. So I apologize if I forget to mention this, but the date itself is also just up here. I try to keep that in frame. But how much, let's just pull this out here. So the event is done. How much snow? based off of the GFS here. If I could find it. Let's see, we want. There we go. Okay, so this has, I say improved. I don't want to see this because I live in South Carolina. Now, this still drops over 6 inches of snow at my house. It's like 8 or 9. But we were seeing like 11 yesterday. What the reason I bring this up and say that I like to see it is because uh the measurable footprint of snow has ticked north finally. I mean, this area of snow was so much further to the south, it was weird. But it kind of gets Tennessee. Tennessee is like the central area here, and most models agree that most of Tennessee will receive measurable snow. So the GFS finally locking onto this is a good thing. Now you see this like just south of Knoxville here, for example, not a forecast. What is that? You might ask. That's over 2 feet. So the GFS is still very aggressive with snow totals. Let's move this back over to this area so we can go over this real quick. So yeah, very impressive snow signal. Can't say that for some reason. 6 inches at least in the circle I just drew, and then 8 to 12 in the secondary circle. Not a forecast, but hey, it's model agreement, isn't it? Now let's do, this is the AI GFS. Gonna go over this quicker. Don't want these videos to be overly long here. Very similar, right? Oklahoma and the Red River really is kind of the dividing line here between rain and snow, or mix and snow. It'll be some rain, but just really a mix and snow. But gets a lot of moisture. It's kind of amped up, right? So this is also a little bit more, the resolution's a little bit lower on a model like this. It's not quite as granular with the details, but still, you get the idea. A lot of moisture here, although the snow shield does not make it quite as far north. Mixing, again, so many straight hours over in South Carolina. I don't like to see this. I really don't. And we move this off. We're going to have to do it again. Okay, we can't do it again. Let's just go up here. So here we go. You may have just noticed that why did we do this twice? Why are there two? See how this is like a second one? There is indeed a second one. But let's just focus on the one that we're talking about right now. So it moves into areas of the eastern U.S., Tennessee, the deep south states, Kentucky. Let's see, eastern seaboard states like South Carolina, whatever. This is Saturday morning. So it's a little quicker, kind of. Moves in, and Charlotte is right on the line between Charlotte, Memphis. If you just draw a straight line, generally that's the line between snow and freezing rain or sleet or whatever. Areas further south than Charlotte really do not get snow. Until this happens, there's another low that pops off. The AI GFS has done this like 3 straight times now. It could happen, but our other model guidance doesn't really pick up on it. It's like a secondary push of energy, and it pushes some snow finally back into my neck of the woods. However, the amount of ice we'd be getting from this, I don't want more snow on top of it. I want the ice. If it's going to come, I want the ice here, and then I want it gone because the ice is dangerous. So, again, can't zoom in really on this here. That's not it. I actually don't know. Yeah, so the AI GFS is not going to give us a snow graphic. This is just precipitation graphic. But let's see, when does this run out the whole way? Let's get everything in frame. Yeah, okay, so where you see at least, is this inches? Okay, yeah, where you see it turned to pink is at least 1.5 inches of normal rain. There's a formula here for calculating what rain would be if it all fell as snow, how much snow that would be. But it's an insane ratio, guys. I mean, this is a lot of moisture. I'm sorry I can't show you that. I thought this had a product for it, but we don't. So now we're going to look at the Euro Ensemble. They actually have a product for that here too. Now it's very pixelated and, you know, kind of rough, but at the same time, it's an ensemble run. This is an ensemble run, guys, and this is dominant precipitation type. So this is not necessarily, the line might not be exactly where it is between, say, snow and freezing rain here, but that's not important, not yet. This is the Euro ensemble, very reliable. Look, we have two highlighted areas of freezing rain. That would be southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, as well as northern Mississippi, down back to Dallas, Texas. And then it kind of drops off. Models are not as consistent. And then northern, especially northeast Georgia, South Carolina as a whole, some in North Carolina is another hot spot for freezing rain. But also, I mean, look at the big snowstorm on top of this. Oklahoma, I have at least one viewer up there. Appreciate you tuning in, Westons, if you're watching this. And you're good for snow here. Every model run really gives you something, as well as Tennessee, and it's really Tennessee points north with the snow, as well as Oklahoma points north, northern Arkansas points north, North Carolina points north. Everywhere to the south of that is a wintry mess. I doubt that it's going to let us use the... Oh, it is. Wow. Okay. We're going to look at this briefly. No need to get super into this, but yeah, there's that area in pink of freezing rain. This is getting into early Sunday morning, but it started Saturday morning, so it's been freezing raining 24 hours at this point, and continues on for another 6. So, well, actually, let's see. So it'd be 30. This is 36, 42 hours straight of freezing rain based off of the Euro ensemble up in my neck of the woods. Not what I want to see. Not a forecast though. Not time to panic yet. So Euro AI ensemble, can't zoom in any further than this. Just gonna look overall. And yeah, we start this event off very similar. Very similar. Run this out, really starts to impact the eastern US later on Saturday based off this. Mixing, although it does give me some snow here up in the upstate of South Carolina, for example. Heavy snow all the way up through Virginia and Kentucky, Tennessee, as well as, again, northern Arkansas. Although the snow line's a little bit further south on this run, further to the west. So, hard to tell. And I don't think we have a snow total product here. So, move on from that. Now, what we're going to do here is look at the Euro ensemble. We timed that perfectly. That's insane. This is, let's just take it within our time frame here. So close to us, guys. So here is the Euro ensemble total snowfall. This is an ensemble mean between 51 members. This is reliable stuff. I mean, this is not like a single model run that throws you out something crazy or anything like that. We'll start this to the west and we'll look east. I mean, and on this site here, areas of the kind of dark pink into red is 6 inches or more. There's mainly 2 regions here. East central Oklahoma into northern Arkansas for the heaviest snow here. Drops off a little bit, and then a really good signal here for Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, especially in the northern areas here, Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way up to the DC area, Maryland, and even further north, although it drops off a little bit. So these are impressive totals. I mean, I'll zoom in here. You can see some of what they are. Virginia, especially in the southern central areas, is near a foot. Down here in the Greenville-Spartanburg area, if you live in Atlanta, you're like, where's our snow at? I'm scared for us, guys. Just a little bit. A lot of mixing issues this far south. All of Tennessee has generally at least 6 inches, and then we move this off. And Oklahoma City is good for nearly 8. Conway, Arkansas with 7 or more. So this is the Euro ensemble, and this is pretty reliable. Looking at this is, I don't have a problem looking at this and showing it to you. It doesn't bother me, or it doesn't feel irresponsible to do so. It's obviously less than the operational Euro is, and you would expect that because this is an ensemble run, and yet we still have over a foot averages in areas that don't normally get it. What I want you to gain from that is what I just said. Higher, pretty impressive totals right out in front of us here. And so yeah, that's our snow graphic. I'm gonna have to do this on the fly. I just remembered. We'll do it here in a second. We need to pull up some sort of ice graphic, so I'll show it to you. But we're gonna go over this first. Let's see if we can. Looks like that's about as good as we can do. Okay, this is the Euro ensemble for our 500 millibar height anomaly. So this is just showing you whether the pressures in the mid levels of the atmosphere are above or below average. So in these blue colors you see on your screen, those are just generally below average pressures, and that's also below average temperatures generally, as well as unsettled weather. And then you see some like purples out here over Alaska. That's just really, really strong positive anomalies. That's just higher pressure on average and warmer air typically. So this is starting off uh, tonight. Just so we're gonna just pull this through here and get out to like say Saturday afternoon. So this event is now starting. It's been ongoing in these areas, and now it's making its way over here. So it might be a little hard for you to see exactly what map this is, especially if you're watching on like a phone or something. These are our main areas here of the most snow. And you see, you might be thinking, well, where is our trough at? I mean, it's up here, but there's no trough that's dipping down into our risk area. And the storm is ongoing. Well, we have a lot of very cold air up under this at the surface, causing for all of this snow. But the fact that we have some sort of ridge signal down here in the southern tier of the country in general is the reason that we have a lot of mixing issues. It's a little bit warm in the mid to upper levels, even above freezing, which is kind of crazy actually. So we have that. We also have this trough that's digging down over the desert southwest into California and the Baja regions of California and Mexico. And that, the Euro ensemble does a pretty good job at kind of attaching that energy to our main energy up here. I gotta actually click back on the screen here. There we go. See, because it's kind of floating around down there doing nothing on its own, and then it gets sucked up, kind of connected and pulled in. This is getting into Saturday evening. So some models are only starting this event in areas of the deep south and southeast right now. And we move this on. So it's still behind us, but there's a lot of moisture associated with that that low out here. I'll circle it for you in case you haven't seen it yet. It's over here. And the Aero Ensemble does a pretty good job at kind of picking it up and pulling it across the US. And it's just a little bit of extra moisture. That's why some of these areas get so much rain, so much snow, so much freezing rain, mix, whatever. And we move it past our time frame here. And we get a very impressive signal to continue. I mean, this is not the Thursday 2 days from now. It's the Thursday after that. Troughing, pretty strong troughing over eastern U.S., ridge spiking out west, high latitude blocking. That just means, if you don't know, that's just positive values, these warmer temperatures, warmer anomalies in the mid to upper levels and the much higher latitudes, northern Canada. It lets Arctic air spill down much easier into the U.S., and that signal kind of stays around until we get to the end of the run. So, not going to go overly in depth with this yet. We need to focus on one system at a time. But what I want you to get is we just have a very impressive looking pattern as we continue right past this time frame. Shots of cold air, very cold air at times, as well as an active storm track. And it's wintertime, so what you can put two and two together and see what that's going to mean. So we're now going to look at our temperature anomalies here. So this is getting into Friday. And what you're looking at here is temperature anomalies, so above or below average temperatures. Before I get into this, I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is wintertime, guys. This is not only December, this is mid-January. This is like the maximum time of winter, if you will, peak winter. So you don't need these temperatures to be well below average like you would if it was early December to get really, really cold air to be in the picture. But we see very cold anomalies here. These kind of purples and blues you see are below average, and reds and like salmon colors are above. And you can see a line here down deep in Texas, across the deep south states. It's getting into Friday evening, and it oozes down. and it oozes. I mean, it just sticks around here. This right here is Saturday afternoon. This is when this event is getting started in the areas further east. And it just sticks around these cooler temperatures. And where do we go after that? I mean, to just stay cooler. It's just cooler anomalies the entire time. And we move this to the end. Maybe some moderation out in the central areas of the U.S., but the point is the same. Very impressive shot of cold air here. And actually, let's pull this back out here to Friday and just look at what these temperatures actually are. It's this one. Let's see. So yeah, where it changes from your screen here on your screen from green to blue, that's like the freezing line. That's where 32 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius is at the surface. And you can see there's numbers here as well that correspond. Those are in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Let's see here. Getting into Friday afternoon, freezing line is just dropping south. All right, it just oozes south. So Saturday afternoon, areas of like the Carolinas, it's below freezing. So move this on here. Monday during the day does not get even into the 40s necessarily in some of these areas, which means terrible news for areas that got a lot of ice because it's not going to melt. So what does Tuesday do? Barely 40 degrees. So this is getting out there. We don't really need to focus on this too much, but very cold air. And you look at some of these values up in the northern areas. I mean, they're negative 30s, negative 20s, negative 30s showing up in some of these areas of the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and Canada here, as well as the Northeast. So there's a lot of cold air associated with this, a lot of energy. It's a perfect setup here. It really is. Now, I told you I would pull this up on the fly, so I'm going to. As far as I know, the only graphic I have access to for ice is the Canadian. I've not even looked at the Canadian today. Completely forgot to pull it up. So I'll give you a little behind the scenes here for how I pull up pivotal weather. So let's see what the latest Canadian wanted to do. Okay, yeah, so it didn't hold back either. That's a lot of model consistency, guys. I don't know how many models that is we've been over, but it's a lot. I'll just go ahead and say that. Let's see. Now, this is I needed to correct myself. I showed you this graphic yesterday, and yeah, it's going to continue to be absolutely horrific for some of these areas. Let me zoom in. This one should work. So pull this out here. Yeah, so it does not really change at all. So this, what you're looking at here, is total freezing rain graphic. You might be thinking, well, that's perfect, right? That's all we need to do. I was doing some research and digging here. These graphics do not necessarily represent the actual amount of freezing rain you're going to see. That's what this product is, total ice. And it says FRAM. That's like flat ice accumulation. That's just the actual amount of ice. What this product is showing you really is any slightly melted precipitation that falls is going to show up on this graphic, and it squeezes out every drop. So some of these values, 3.5 inches of freezing rain, even the own model is not modeling quite that much ice, but it's still such a terrible signal. It just is. This is the Canadian. The Canadian's not even the most aggressive one with the freezing rain. I think the Euro typically is more aggressive. And we have 7 to 8 tenths of an inch over here in the Carolinas. It drops off as you go south, and then a large corridor here of at least 1.5. I think what I found is you can cut these totals by 30 or something percent. I'm not going to do that math for you. What you can do is just take these numbers and divide them by 0.3 or so, or maybe not divide them, whatever. Take 30% off of these, multiply them by 0.3. You might get a better number here, although in some of these areas, taking 30% off does not really help you at all. I mean, crippling ice storm, guys. It really is. Continues to be so this morning. We'll see. We'll make another video this afternoon. We'll see if it's still showing it. These are the even though you might be thinking, Charlie, you just circled the two areas that aren't highlighted as much as this one is. This is a little bit odd. We'll get some freezing rain in here, but I don't think we're going to get as much as. Let's turn it back on. These two areas are kind of separate from each other. I think these are going to be the main areas. This might be just a Canadian thing. I don't really know, especially these high of totals being modeled here, 3.5 inches. So good. I said this in yesterday's video. I'll say it again. A good metric for looking at freezing rain is a 1/4 inch or so is where you start to look at dangerous territory. 1/2 inch or more, it becomes crippling. So areas here where you see 3.5 on your screen is diabolical. It's insane. And that, because what that does, it does not add 1.5 inches or so to everything it touches. It adds 3.5 to everything. So if this is not going to happen, I don't think the atmosphere even has it in it for this kind of event to drop 3.5 inches of freezing rain. But let's say it did. That would mean that your power lines, they're like that big, would now be like that big because it adds 3.5 inches on each side, all sides. So obviously, as you would assume, they wouldn't stand a chance when it comes to staying on the poles and staying up in general. So this looks bad for a lot of areas, millions of people. I'm not going to tell you, based off of this that you're looking at, I'm not going to tell you, hey, you should go buy a generator and you should go, stock up on all your necessities because you're going to be stuck inside for days. I'll reserve that wording for tomorrow and Thursday as we get closer, especially Friday. But for example, if you didn't already know, I live in this second circle I drew that's over here in the Carolinas. And not only do I live there, I live in that circle. So let's just get rid of the other one. So I was talking to my family yesterday. We're kind of discussing what we might do if this event does what it's looking. And we don't have a generator for our house. Our house is new. It's a few years old now. We built it out here. And we didn't have a generator socket installed on the outside. So we might do that at some point. This would be the second time we've ever needed a generator. So who knows? That's all up to us to decide that. But our grandparents live a matter of 500 feet away from us. They have a generator. We both have wood burning stoves in our house. But we were talking about that, what we might have to do. And for example, the generator holds 13, 15 gallons of gas when it's full, and it uses that. It's about a gallon an hour. So especially when it's cold, it's not going to get as good of, I say mileage, even though it's not going anywhere. You get what I'm saying. So it might get even less than that. We need to go get gas. We have gas tanks we use to fill that up and fill our ATVs up and fill other machinery up. But we need those filled. We have to go get wood that we already have split and bring it up to the porch because we're going to probably need it. I don't want to scare anyone saying that. I don't want you to be, if you live in this, especially this teal, this really vibrant blue area, I don't want you to live there and think, is this going to ruin our infrastructure? If that happened, it would. This is not going to happen, though. I don't think these totals are even really possible with this system. It wouldn't, if something like this were to end up happening, then you couldn't say it wasn't modeled, but hey, I don't think it's going to happen. But just cut these totals. Let's say 1.5 inches. That's still beyond crippling. That's absurdly crippling. And that's not going to ruin your infrastructure necessarily, but it's going to bring down so many lines and so many trees on the lines. It's not going to be something where the power crews can just run out the next day or within a few hours and fix it. The roads are going to be a huge mess. I mentioned yesterday that stuff like power lines and tree branches would be affected, and they will be. But this is a road thing. This is a travel thing too, because this ice accumulates on roads as well as everything else. So please don't drive in stuff like this. Please don't. This is not a good idea. You won't be able to have traction. It doesn't matter if you have chains on your tires. It's too much ice. It's too slippery, especially in some of the more mountainous areas where roads are windy. Please don't do that, because I do not want to open the news and hear that there have been X number of weather-related wrecks today, and half of them are fatal because people like slid off a road down into a ravine or something. I don't want to hear that. No one does. So please be safe with this. We'll go over this. We'll continue to look at it. But that's the most updated ice graphic I have for you. Trying to think if there was anything else that I was going to show you, but I don't think there is. Overall, we'll leave it on this for the rest of the video. We have days to change this, but it isn't changing. This is one of those things that in the areas you see highlighted, mainly the Arklatex up into areas of Oklahoma, and if that's Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, if any of you guys didn't know that. Northern Mississippi looks to get hit hard. I don't buy these really highlighted regions in like northern Alabama and Tennessee that aren't really highlighted on other models. And then a secondary area over here in like the Carolinas. Pray for us, genuinely. I'm not like joking. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm looking at this and saying that this does not look good. This looks dangerous. This looks very impactful. So please be safe. We have days to cover this still. It's only Tuesday morning. We'll make another video this evening. Probably, if I had to guess, I'll try to get it out by 7 o'clock, maybe a little earlier. So if I didn't already say this, when you subscribe, you can select notifications. I would recommend you do that because the time that I'm posting is not consistent yet. I do post, but it's not always consistent yet. So I'd recommend you do that. Otherwise, that's all I really have for you. But yeah, I'll make another video this evening, and we'll talk again soon.